I think it's very exciting times in California. What I want to talk to you about is the Governor's Strategic Growth Plan. And as part of that, we also have another initiative, the Construction Industry Capacity Expansion, ICE for short. The other thing is, what would the world be without acronyms? So our governor, in January 2006, recognized that infrastructure challenges are really important in California. So he put together a plan. Caltrans was part of that. Stand back a little bit here.
It's not you.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Well, it's a relatively large program, $222 billion over the next 10 years. $107 billion of that be dedicated to transportation, reducing congestion, improving connectivity between modes, improving safety, and reducing air pollution. The one that we're most interested in, that the recent bond measure, Prop 1B, $19.9 billion for transportation. The other thing I think that's relevant for this is AB 1467, authorizing state and regional public-private partnerships. And I think public-private partnerships, at least in California, we're doing a few of those, but it's a challenge for us to take on those kinds of new relationships. And also another one, streamlining the environmental process. If you're not sure how to deliver projects sooner, then you must have to streamline the environmental process. There's a lot of other people that have a say over that other than us. And in addition to the Strategic Growth Plan that's just recently been approved by the voters, the governor has the second phase of the plan. He released this January for another $43.4 billion in new bonds. It remains to be seen whether or not the voters like this idea in the legislature, but the governor's being very aggressive in terms of putting together a plan, because we all know that the current initiative is not enough money to take care of all the infrastructure needs. I think another one is private sector investment in California transportation infrastructure is another thing that we're looking into. Industry capacity enhancement. Originally, the Strategic Growth Plan started out as Go California was the tagline, but the idea behind ICE is to put together a group of people, including the construction industry, Caltrans, AGC, to save capital costs, improve the heavy highway construction industry, fortify it, and also increase the number of bidders. ICE also included putting together strategies and actions that would enable both industry and Caltrans to be more successful in the future. These are the focus areas that were part of ICE. I think the ones that are relevant for today would be equipment and materials availability, because even though we have the money, we still have to have contractors and materials and people to be able to do this work. Also, we need to look at what kinds of technologies are available to help us improve how we do business. And I think project quality and communication outreach are related to what's going to be discussed later today. So our governor is a man of action, so he wanted to get $500 million going quickly. And also, he put together an executive order to ensure that the bonds are being spent efficiently, effectively, and in the best interests of the people of California. And these are a couple aspects, and you'll notice that in every case, accountability is mentioned in terms of performance standards for projects prior to expenditure of funds, ongoing actions to ensure that projects and other activities are funded, stay within the scope and costs that were identified, and finally, an audit to see, did the projects actually do what we said they were going to do? I think this is a big step forward in terms of how we look at delivering projects and deciding which projects are the most important projects to take care of in California to meet our growing needs. Another part of the overall package was Prop 1A, basically to prevent money being moved for other uses. Here's some of the aspects of the 1B. Freeway upgrades is one area to reduce congestion that we'll be putting quite a bit of money in. I'll go through these fairly quickly. Corridor mobility, I think, is another thing that relates to today in terms of improvements on highly congested travel corridors, but looking at performance indicators so that we're doing the right projects. All of the people that are working on these have to put together corridor management plans to show how the projects are improving the corridor. Also, another piece of it is that we're leveraging money. $6.4 billion leverages $11.9 billion. This is the department's corridor mobility proposal. But the idea here is leveraging money, so that means a lot of people are going to be involved. You need to meet their needs. State Route 99, there's going to be over $1 billion invested there. And if you look at these timelines, guidelines, December 2006, nominations, January 2007, adoption, February 2007, that means that these things are moving really quickly. Another area is trade corridors, $2 billion. There's also a trade infrastructure and goods movement plan that would be helping guide those decisions. Reducing emissions and air quality, that's another thing that influences how we do projects here in California. And then $100 million for port security. Local bridge, Seismic Retrofit, $125 million. $2 billion to local counties and cities. And our state highway operation protection plan, that's the money that we invest in taking care of the system that we have today. And that's where we're going to be putting $500 million into the shop. Decisions be made by June of 2007. Highway Railroad Crossing Safety Account, $250 million. So the reason I went through all of that is to illustrate to all of you that we have a big challenge here in California. The voters of California voted money to take care of the infrastructure. But I think when these kinds of things happen, there's a large challenge ahead of us. But I really look at it as an opportunity for change and looking how we can do business differently, having performance measures so that we can show people what the money is going to be doing for the people of California. That concludes my presentation. Is there going to be any questions? I really just wanted to open it up. Or any questions? Go ahead.
What's behind the design build legislation in some of your bullet points earlier on from the government?
I'm not sure if I know how to understand or answer your question. Yeah, I know what bullet you're talking about.
So what are they going after in design build legislation?
The department?
Yeah.
We would like to have the ability to do more design build projects, but we need legislation to do that. I don't know. Now, would you want to add anything? Nigel?
For one of the CMI.
There's one here.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
One of the corridor CMIs, corridor. Whatever that acronym is. One of those projects is the 405 in Los Angeles County, and that has been earmarked as a design-build project. Basically, the requirements of CMIA is it must be under construction by 2012, and we believe that without the accelerated processes in design-build, it won't meet that requirement. I'm not sure what other projects are, but that one is the one that's most visible of the design build.
There's just other things that influence design build in California, because there's certain requirements in the Constitution in terms of who can do that kind of work for us, and those are just some of the things that we're really trying to work out through the legislative process. But basically, it's a huge mountain. We're trying to climb. A lot of work needs to be done, and that's just another tool. Thanks, Nigel. Any other questions? So I'm looking forward to today. I think trying to figure out what kinds of best practices we can bring to California and help us meet this challenge is really what I'm looking forward to in the next day, 2 days. So thank you.